Welcome to For the Record, a podcast from the Delaware State Senate Republican Caucus, hosted by Senator Brian Pettyjohn, Chief of Staff Deanna Killen, and Communications Director Matt Revel. This is For the Record.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. So as we left off the last episode, we're kind of in the middle of Joint Finance Committee hearings here at Legislative Hall. But we did want to reconvene the For the Record podcast.
Yeah.
And as many of you probably, unfortunately, are aware, electric bills, energy bills, prices are through the roof.
Yep.
Particularly if you are a Delmarva Power customer, but for everybody, but really more so for them. So we wanted to talk about that, and I know, Deanna, you have a list of bills and topics that kind of intertwine with this broader topic that is electric rates. So why don't we?
Well, I just thought it was important to point out the bills that that the Republicans are spearheading. But before we start that, Brian, why don't you kind of explain why is it that DP&L customers see more of an increase than, say, co-op customers? What is the difference between those two? Because a lot of people don't understand that.
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple factors there. One, Delaware, Delmarva Power Light, DP&L, Delmarva Power, Exelon, they are a stockholder for-profit company, whereas Delaware Electric Cooperative, it's a co-op. It's member-owned. DMIC, Delaware Municipal Electric Company, they're owned by the towns. So they're a nonprofit. Delmarva Power, I think by the current tariff that they're under, is entitled to a 10% profit on everything that they do.
Okay.
So, it might not sound like a lot, but when you're talking about, bills as high as they are, 10% could really make a big difference in somebody's bill out there. So, we're seeing that, we are seeing some of the purchasing power of the electric companies. For example, Delaware Electric Co-ops is part of a larger cooperative as well, and they have their own power generation, and they can generate power at a much lower rate than sometimes what Delmarva Power can get. So, when you're looking at actually buying the electricity as well, the co-op can get their energy cheaper than Delmarva Power can. So there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Does the co-op have to abide by the same percentages of renewables that Delmarva Power and Light? Because I know that the renewable portfolio, I think that's the correct word, RPS,
Renewable Portfolio Standards.
Yes. So I know that DP&L has to abide by that. They have to meet a certain percentage of renewables. Does Delaware Electric have to do that as well?
So Delmarva Power has to abide. So long story short, where they're regulated by the Public Service Commission, they are bound to these various laws that go into effect, particularly surrounding it. So as it turned, Senate Bill 33 from 4 years ago, whatever it was, 5 years ago, for example.
The one that removed that cap.
Yeah, so they are required to purchase, in current year, 25% renewables.
DP&L is required.
Correct. Yeah. And it's my understanding, and you talk to other stakeholders and stuff, co-op, DMEC, those other companies are not required to because they aren't
they're not regulated by the state.
Regulated.
Right.
Yeah. So Bloom Energy, RPS, you name it, only really affects
Delmarva Power.
Delmarva Power, and you can see that clearly when you look at Delmarva Power electric bill. There are line items specifically for
the renewable
various
compliance
programs,
charge, the qualified fuel cell,
correct?
Those charges,
as
that
opposed,
I see every single month,
correct?
Right, because you have DP&L.
I have DP&L.
Yeah, I have Delaware Electric Cooperative.
Those of us on co-op do not have to pay. Now the argument has been, our larger argument that our caucus has made for years, is that all those amounts add up.
Yes.
Now, the argument from the other side that we've seen on social media and stuff as well, take the alternative compliance payment,
right?
Yes.
The fine, but the fee that Delmarva Power opts to pay rather than
Because it's cheaper.
because it's cheaper to pay that rather than find enough renewable if it's out there, which that's another argument altogether. But anyway, I just completely lost my train of thought.
You're
But
talking about the compliance payments.
that's right. Yeah. So anyway, there are the argument from the other side is if you were to divvy it up, say that however much we paid this past year into it, it would be a very small amount, something like $8 per customer or something like that. But that $8, when you add it to Bloom and everything else, that becomes a very large number eventually. Perhaps we will concede not as much as, say, the fact that it's been sub-zero temperatures
Right.
for 2 weeks, or to kind of acknowledge their argument that these various data centers that are being put up, say, in the PGM grid and elsewhere, they use a massive amount of energy.
They do.
But that goes back to our argument that, well, so yes, it creates a supply-demand imbalance, forces the
Basic
price
economics,
of basic economics, forces the energy prices to skyrocket. So, and we should probably tackle that shortage with reliable baseload energy.
Yes.
So, getting the Indian River Power Plant back up and running, say with natural gas.
Exactly, with natural
Or,
gas,
House Bill 186, which you're a co-prime, or Senate prime actually. Representative Hensley has one to a tax credit to build new or refurbish current existing plants.
High efficiency natural gas power plants.
I mean, that's stuff we can do right now.
Yeah.
Increase base load, stabilize the pricing. Then on the back end, you have Senator Richardson's SCR 18, Nuclear Feasibility Task Force. We can look in the future about getting these small modular reactors, modular reactors, and in general, nuclear energy here, which is by PGM's own admission, is the most efficient and reliable form of energy that you can get.
It just is going to take time. And to your point about the Indian River Power Plant, you are in current conversations or in the beginning stages of conversations with them, if you want to talk about that.
I mean, I can't really talk a whole lot about it, but you know, I am having conversations right now with Chesapeake. We're going to try to get together with some of the other players that have to come to the table and see what they need in order to get generation back there at that power plant, and you know, ideally with natural gas.
Right.
You know, there is, you know, we're talking about the lead time on the nuclear reactors. There's still a lead time on gas turbines right
so
now.
whatever we do, we have to get moving in.
But we have to start now.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we're just going to kick the can to a point where there's going to be even a greater imbalance in the supply and demand curve. And we're going to be saddled with even higher you know, rates
and
for
possible
those peaks.
blackouts at some point if
Blackouts,
it continues.
brownouts. You know, we're looking. I mean, I'm looking. I've got it here right now, and this is a website that I shared with you yesterday.
that was
you didn't get it, did I? I didn't send it
think
to you.
so.
Oh.
Okay.
You know, I like
was
data.
kept out of the loop there.
Well, you know, I like data stuff, and this is grid status. For the PJM grid. Actually, you can pick any of the grids in the United States, and it tells you what the generation is right now, and then what the main source is, and what the price per megawatt hour is currently, like spot price. It's just like the commodity trading market when, you know, corn goes up and down on the Chicago Board of Trade. Well, this is the
really nerdy stuff.
This is
That's why I was not on the
this is the real time of what's going on out there on the grid. And as of 2:55 p.m. on Tuesday the 10th, we have 35% of the electricity in PJM that's generated by gas, 31.1% nuclear right now. Coal, 16.5%, solar, 10.2%, wind, 5.6%, and then it goes down hydroelectric, 0.3%, oil, 0.2%, other renewables, 0.8%, multiple fuels, 0.8%. But, you know, the top two right now, with 35% is natural gas, and then 31.1% are the existing nuclear plants that are out there. So, the plant that's across the river, Salem, Hope Creek. Talking Peach Bottom, Calvert Cliffs, and then the ones up at Limerick and PA. There's more up into New England, but nuclear's nuclear right now. We're using a lot of nuclear.
Right. So what we're studying in this nuclear feasibility task force, which met yesterday, are the small nuclear reactors.
The small ones. These are the big plants. These are the the ones that that are your full size, full containment type plants out there. The ones that were really developed and designed in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. So I've been tuning into the task force, and I find it very entertaining. We have a governor's appointee on the committee. His name is Martin Willis, and he's very entertaining to watch because I watch him and I kind of chuckle because he's from the private sector. So to him, time is money.
Well, he's an actual expert in this field,
exactly.
too.
But for him, this isn't moving fast enough for him. And you can tell he actually introduced a resolution yesterday that basically called for Delaware to actively pursue nuclear energy as part of its energy strategy. And of course they tabled it. They had to vote yes, no, or table, so they tabled it. But for him, he's like, look, I'm ready to move forward. Let's make a decision and let's move forward. And I think, was it the fourth meeting yesterday?
Yes.
And it's just not that the presentations aren't valuable, but I think I'm with Martin on this. I think we could be moving faster. And with what's at stake, we've got to move faster on this. Right now, we are dragging our feet. And I honestly can't tell where some of the committee members even stand. I mean, you watch it. What do you think?
Well, I know where Senator Richardson, Representative
Yes,
Pulaski
Senator Richardson and Rep. Pulaski are very supportive.
The authors of that resolution.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But even they were talking about storage yesterday and how that's going to be a barrier because you have to store the waste at the facility for a short time. And Pulaski's being very optimistic, talking about, there's always new technologies being developed. And, by the time we get there, I'm sure that this will be, they'll have an answer for this or a way to solve it. And just the pushback, from Rep. Burns, I kind of took it as almost like it's more about giving excuses as to why we can't do it as opposed to Pulaski's approach of, okay, we can make this happen. Let's figure out how to do it.
Let's get a solution to it.
Let's get it right.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that, but in my opinion, it's moving way too slow.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is we need more generation.
Yes.
And we've always been of the mindset, our caucus, that not just fossil fuel, not just nuclear.
Right, because we're big supporters of renewable energy.
Yes,
people, for
absolutely.
some reason, think we're not, but we are.
We are, but, when we had, when that nor'easter came through, and we had those, really bad winds this past weekend, anything, I believe it's in excess of 50 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour, they have to turn the wind turbines off.
Right.
So they feather those blades, they turn them into the wind, they don't produce electricity.
Right.
So when we're having those storms, it's also cloudy. We're not getting solar. So how are we going to heat our homes if we are putting so many of our eggs, I'm not going to say all of our eggs, but so many of our eggs in the wind and solar basket? We still need a robust, a very large-scale base load and honestly, generation that we can turn on to for those extreme times when when there is the load there or the demand there, but the generation isn't necessarily, it doesn't have to be plants that run all the time. They could be ones that get spun up pretty quickly, added to the grid, take care of the load that's there, whether it's for capacity or whether it's for price to help bring the price down, and then turn them off.
Right, and it's very different than 10 years ago. I mean, we're using a lot of energy now, and they want to push electric cars on everybody. It's not the same as it was 10 years ago. We're going to need more options as we go with data centers and.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, to your point, Senator, that's how the New Delmarva Power Plant had been operating for the past however many years. Just as kind of like a reserve there. If we need it, we can turn it on. Yeah. I don't know how in the weeds you want to get with the AI data center, because I admittedly have not been following it that close. Yeah. That one's been going on in Newcastle. But just broadly speaking, artificial intelligence is the future.
Right.
I mean, it's here. And I say the future is here now. We know we need these data centers.
Right. And
so why not to the Nuclear Feasibility Task Force? Why don't we get going now? I know we're still probably 10, 15 years down the road or whatever, but we can start planning ahead. I don't know if require these AI data centers to produce their own electricity.
I think that is the direction that's headed.
And then some states I've seen, I forget which it was, but they require that. But then also they require a certain percentage
to go back.
additional
Is it Ohio?
to go back into the grid.
Yeah.
I think it could be Ohio.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So I mean that a solves the massive amount of energy, so it solves that problem. With and then it also acts as essentially another power plant,
right?
Putting data or energy back into the grid.
Yeah, and to your point at the meeting that they had where they discussed the data center bill, like just because like everyone's very excited that DENREC denied this permit, but chances are this data center is still going to go somewhere in the Northeast
that pulls Pennsylvania.
That pulls energy from the same
grid.
From
the same grid, right?
Right. So it's like people get excited. I'm like, you do realize it's probably still going to happen. It's just not going to happen here, and it's still going to affect us the same way. Yeah. We just don't get the benefit of having.
That's right.
So sometimes I think people are very short-sighted with that, but
I don't think they understand how interconnected the grid is.
Right.
I mean, it is a grid. It's interconnected, and whether it comes here or goes down to Ashburn, or over the line in Pennsylvania, it's still going to pull the same electricity from the same grid that you use when you put a piece of bread in your toaster.
Yeah. So, and I want to offer solutions. I don't just want to, talk about, what's going on, but we want to offer some real solutions, which we have here. We have HB 80, which Representative Smith put forth. This was tabled in committee last year in April, but the renewable portfolio standard right now requires a certain percentage of our electricity come from renewables. I think right now it's at 25%, but it has to reach 40% by 2035. So what this bill does is basically it rolls it back to 10% and it freezes it there at 10 years until we catch up. So this is kind of the same mentality that we hear all the time down in Lower Sussex. We got to stop building until, until our infrastructure catches up. Well, this is the same way. Renewables are great, but we've got to be realistic. There's not enough. Right. So this bill, of course, is, again, tabled in committee.
And you see that from the current generation that I just read off.
Right.
We're what, 15, 20% right now is coming from renewables. And that's, there's no way we're going to go ahead and meet those goals as things are right now.
Right. No. Well, when we don't meet those goals, that's when we have to pay those ACP fines, correct? Is that accurate?
Well, essentially. Yeah.
And I know it's a lot more complicated than what we're making it, but that's mainly the gist of it.
I mean, there's not enough renewable energy out there now. There will never be enough renewable because of the reliability factor. Now, it doesn't mean we have to rely solely on fossil fuels, but again, you still need that base load generation to be there to be dependable.
And the source that's got the highest capacity factor of any of those, and the capacity factor is, let's say you've got a wind farm that's rated for 1 gigawatt of production. It's never going to hit 1 gigawatt because that would be a capacity factor of 100%. They're averaging about 50 to 60% right now. So the one that's got the highest, I think it's well into the 90s, is nuclear. More so than, the coal or the natural gas plants or the oil plants.
Yeah, when PJM presented, last year, I think, when the special committee meetings, the energy, I want to say it was like 96.
96?
Peyton's laughing.
Well, probably because of my face. I don't...
Oh. Wow.
It did.
It's a ghost.
And it's kind of scary because I don't think I have the battery attached to it.
Well, you've got to, okay?
I don't know.
It's not being fueled by...
We have someone... We have a presence in here.
There's a lot of hot air coming out of this room.
Wow, that's weird.
They do say this building's haunted.
I'm sure that it is. Yeah.
I mean, you talk to our former...
Bernard.
Now we're just getting off now.
Yeah.
But Bernard, I mean, he's very, he won't go into detail, but he's like...
See, I never heard any of those stories. I like
So Ryan actually has a story.
He is our Secretary of the Senate.
Oh, yeah, sorry, our current Secretary of the Senate. Can we just go right into that? Or are we just getting right off the rails now?
We'll go
Why
off the rails.
Not?
We can do what we want. We make the rules.
That's right. Yeah,
there are no rules.
If I really wanted to go back. One story he was telling, he was here, it was something like 2 o'clock, 12:30 or 2 o'clock, something really early in the morning, right? And I don't know if it was Justin King. He was either still here.
He was a facilities person here.
Yeah, our facilities manager. Well, he had just left, apparently, but Ryan didn't know that. And he heard walking. So where he is on the first floor, he heard what sounded like a cane or something coming from where we are here in the second. And so he called Justin, and Justin's like, nah, man, I left 35 minutes ago or whatever it was.
Ooh.
And I don't know, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, and even now we are getting off. Steve Rash, I think it was Steve, told me the story that he has seen things here in the basement. Like, there was a guy in like old colonial garb that he's seen out of the corner of his eye. Yeah.
The only thing I've seen disturbing are bats.
Bats and our on-air sign coming on.
We have bats that walk in and they're on the floor.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
That happened just not that long ago.
Yeah.
Huh. Under your desk. Yep.
Oh. So in other words, I should check under my desk
You should.
before
You should. Or
Okay,
not,
great.
and we can laugh when we hear you.
All right. Enough of that.
Back to energy.
Yes.
HB 186, sponsored by Hensley, and you're actually the Senate Prime on that. And Matt had alluded to this earlier, that it basically limits the number of high efficiency natural gas power plants, but it incentivizes, them to come here. And that would probably could supply energy to the grid faster than nuclear. But again, to your point, it would still take time. That, and I have a question about that because I'm confused by it. When I read the website, it says that it's awaiting consideration in House Revenue and Finance, but I don't see where it was assigned to environmental or heard in environmental. Do you know why that would have been? HB 186. I don't know if you want to look that up. I just found that to be weird. It's like typically a bill like that would go to environmental, unless maybe the website is wacky.
It could be.
Or I'm not reading it right. Could be either.
Yes. Well, normally it would have been, say if it was a Senate bill, it would have had to clear
Right. It would have
Senate environmental, and then it would have been assigned to finance if there was a
fiscal
large
note.
enough fiscal
Right.
note.
Right.
Right.
Which
no,
this
it
does
was
have.
introduced and assigned to Revenue and Finance.
That's what I thought. So that's
Interesting.
unusual. That's very unusual. So it didn't even, to me, I think, again, from my paranoia state that I approach everything, that to me seems political.
But that's different than the House Appropriations Committee, which is the equivalent of our Senate Finance Committee.
Right.
But still, why wouldn't it go to environmental?
I don't know.
To me,
probably
that
because
would
it's creating a tax incentive,
could
tax
be.
credit
That's-
incentive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matt answered the question. Now that he said it, that is
Yeah.
why it's like that.
I mean, and you look at it is there are a number of Democrats on there too. This isn't a very partisan bill. It is a very bipartisan bill.
Yeah.
Representative Sinsky's a prime sponsor. Senator Walsh.
Senator
it's
Walsh. Yep.
Yeah. Some of your union guys.
Yeah.
But they did add an amendment that required it to be constructed with union workers
Yes.
and
Yep.
so and all that.
Under a project labor agreement.
Right. Right.
Which I'm fine with. I mean,
Yeah.
for
we need 'em.
stuff of that scale, it's probably not a bad idea.
probably not. No.
Yeah. So, yep. But that's pretty. I just kind of wanted, like I said, offer a couple solutions. We already talked about 64 and 65 that Senator Hocker's sponsoring. They should be heard in committee when we get back. So we'll keep everyone posted on the status of those. I mean, realistically, we don't think any of these are going to move, but all we can do is try. But hey, you give the Republicans majority, and we'll make all this happen for you
That's
guys.
right.
Yeah,
yes.
there we go. I mean, look, bottom line, we need power production here in Delaware, and we need to stop penalizing the electricity producers that are out
Yes.
there now. I mean,
Yes.
even if we, give them a break until, a 3 or 4 year break until we get some of these new, this new production online. I mean, you give them a break, and it's going to give the ratepayers a break.
Right.
And I mean, everybody's clamoring about their bills, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm Delmarva Power. I've been spending a whole lot of money on my electric.
Right.
And
Well,
and
you know what Stephanie Hansen said? You need to manage your use, Brian.
I guess I do. Yeah.
Manage your use better.
I guess I got to turn my thermostat down to 50 degrees. But it's, the heating side. I'll turn my downstairs onto propane and use propane.
Is that
Now,
cheaper?
It is to some degree.
Probably in the short term, it might.
Short
be.
term.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it cost me like $900 to fill up my propane tank.
Okay.
Big, underground tank. So, in the wintertime, when it's really cold, it automatically happens anyway.
Okay.
Because the heat pump can't keep up.
Right.
But even with that, my electric bill is still, significantly higher. Yeah.
Okay. All
Y'all
right.
on the co-op are lucky.
Yes,
I'm gonna say.
I'm blessed. I would never even purchase if I were house shopping right now, or that would be one of the first questions I asked. Or is this DPNL or is this Delaware Cooperative?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So
There we
is
go.
Blake house shopping? Is that why we look at Blake?
Yeah, no, we were just talking about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blake, when you're house hunting, you make sure you ask that question.
I think
And one more thing I'll talk about as far as policy goes is Senator Buxton. This isn't really necessarily an actual bill, but he is leading a statewide discussion right now on how Delaware measures high school success. And he's calling for a reassessment of the SAT's role as like the primary measure of school.
Absolutely.
And you know, one point he has, I think is very valuable about this is I feel like, because isn't this what we use to determine where we fall as far as our education?
Yes.
So we're like, what, 47th right now? And if you have kids, or I think every 11th grader is required to take this.
Yes.
So if you have kids who are taking this and they know it's not going to count either way, one way or another, this could, having this as your primary and only source could actually be misrepresenting where we are. So I think this is a good discussion to have. Federal law allows states to use multiple measures.
Yep.
So basically, that's just what he's calling for. And I know that Representative Williams is also in on this discussion. So we'll see what happens there.
And this is something at SRAB with some of our folks in education here in Delaware, legislators and policy folks alike. They have supported that idea of moving away from the SAT as the 11th grade test for a while.
Yeah.
You know, we had a concern about using Smarter Balanced as well. You know, again, we used to have a state test, one that was done by Delaware. Now we're going with these nationalized tests, which, you know, don't always align with the curriculum. You know, we say we're, you know, the teachers in the classroom are teaching to the test to try to make it so that, you know, our test scores are higher. Maybe it's time that we go back to a state test and adjust our curriculum so that it is a Delaware curriculum for what we need here in the state and in the region versus something that is quote unquote good for states across the country.
Yeah, they need to go back to how they educated you and I because we're very smart.
The CAT test. Remember the CAT test?
I do.
The
I do remember
California
that.
Achievement Test.
I
That's
do.
that's what we took.
California achievement.
California,
Yes.
yeah, the CAT
Really?
test, and
Yep.
that was the standardized test back then. But then we did, well, before we did Smarter Balance, I think it was what, DCAS?
I don't know. I remember
Yeah, DCAS was the
CAT
state.
test. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I went to private school, so I only did the CAT.
Yeah.
Oh, look
okay.
at you.
Yeah, you know.
Look at that. Yeah, well, I remember the state test very.
Yeah.
I was going to say very fondly, but not very fondly.
I don't remember any test fondly.
No, it was just
I'm not
like
a good test taker.
black and white book. Well, gray really is what it was, and it was just. Oh, it's
Fill in the bubbles.
oh
Yes.
Fill in
And
the
they would
scantrons.
scare you to death. Like, you can't be out of the line.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yes.
I took that stuff very seriously. I was like,
Do they
Doesn't
still
surprise
do
me.
those Scantron? Do they still do that?
They
stuff?
do?
Yeah.
I thought it was all done on computers now.
I don't know.
No?
I think because like AI and things have reverted back to it.
Okay.
So you can
Okay.
take-
I think you're gonna see a lot of reverting back to the old way of doing things eventually. I really do. I think our kids are they're gonna say we don't want all this technology.
Well, you know, the teaching the new stuff in the old way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can tell you, and there's something to that. Senator Buxton had sent me this link he found, and it talked about how kids reading things on a computer, how their memory does not basically obtain that information the same way as if you're reading a book. And I believe that because when I was in college, they would send me a lot of like electronic books and things, and I would always be like, no, I need the actual paper book, like because it says that your mind actually remembers where it saw it on the page and what page, and that when you're scrolling, you can't place it or stick it somewhere.
That frame of reference
Yes.
isn't there.
And I do think that there's something to that. So I don't know. He actually sent it was some type of legislation, I believe, for that. But
Just get all your
I'll-
education from TikTok.
is that
Yeah.
what you do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you're
Explains a lot.
educating the next generation
Explains
on
a lot.
TikTok too.
Mm. I think it is like that's the top search engine now, essentially.
Yeah.
It's TikTok.
Wow.
Recipes and
Because that is where I go, even when I travel. Like, because my husband right now is on a mission trip in Nicaragua. I think I'm saying that correct.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I did was I went to TikTok to see how safe it was there, because I knew he was going, and then just to make
You know,
it.
don't go on the State Department's website that they have
Well,
that
it's a
list.
level.
No,
it's a
yeah.
level 3 warning. That's why I went to TikTok, because I'm like, okay,
I don't trust the
because
government.
I don't
Let's
trust the
trust
government. Right.
TikTok.
I don't care. I don't
yeah.
care,
See what
Republican,
the Chinese
Democrat.
think about this.
Yeah, that's right. I trust the Chinese. That's right.
Well, it's American held now, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
so I don't know. But I go there for everything. It's never disappointed me yet. You're a big TikTok fan too, right? I am. Peyton's a big TikToker. And we have a TikTok account everyone should check out if they have it.
Actually, yes.
Matt put some
Senate
good
GOP. That's her handle there. What were you going to say?
I said Matt put some pretty funny videos up on it.
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, I really like the ones that he sends us first.
Yes.
And we go,
and some don't make it.
No.
There's a couple. There's a couple.
There's
it's funny. I actually have a folder on one of my external hard drives of like unused graphics and memes and videos that either you all shot down or either like I was going to hit post. And I'm like, yeah,
maybe I should check.
Okay, if you're double thinking it, you definitely shouldn't post it.
Yeah, I'll sleep on this one. Then it just yeah.
So
there is one that I think whatever day is my last day here. I won't post.
It's going to be
no. It won't be on the government accounts.
By then, we won't even have TikTok.
I know. Well, I will post it to my personal. Be like, look, this is what you all missed out on.
You should just do the archive then.
There might be a statute limit. We might be able to talk about that one now. I don't know.
Oh.
We'll circle back.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a future episode.
So what did y'all think about Super Bowl? Did your teams win? Well, yours didn't. You're a Cowboys and Browns, right? Yeah. Who did you guys want to win?
Seattle.
Yeah,
okay.
Seattle.
Okay.
Well, no. I might have to edit that out.
No, we don't
The
edit.
Patriots. Yes, because my mother-in-law is from Booth Bay Harbor, Maine.
Oh, yeah.
So New England. So, of course, they're all big Patriots fans. So I kind of had to root for the Patriots.
Why do you have to edit it out?
Well, because I said Seattle first. Yeah.
Oh,
So actually, I'd let the cat out of the bag. So I mean, really, I don't care. But
You don't want your mother-in-law to know you lied to her?
she doesn't watch this or listen anyway.
Well, if anyone knows his mother-in-law, don't tell
That
him.
won't be the viral clip that I post. This
Okay.
week.
I don't know. I don't. Have you seen what the ratings were? What the viewership was?
I don't know.
I haven't either. No.
I imagine it was probably fairly low. Just
I think so.
because.
Just,
Why?
Well,
Why would you think that?
Well, Seattle's not exactly a large market.
It is true. Neither one of them were.
And I think people, for better or worse, are still kind of stale or whatever on the
tired
Patriots.
of the Patriots. Yeah.
It's only been like, 6 years, 5 years since they were just recently in it.
Yeah.
And so that was I made that comment to one of my wife's cousins. I was like, I'm still kind of tired of seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl. It's a different era, was his argument.
Well, it is.
I'm like, yeah, but it's still the Patriots.
Well, I heard that the Patriots offense did show up finally on Monday.
On Monday?
On Monday, yeah.
Really, it was 5 minutes left of the game.
I know,
Mac
when they
Jones
finally did
decided to throw a pass further than 10 yards. And
Yeah, and I know there was a lot of controversy over that.
Drake May, not Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm a Ravens fan, so I'm not don't really know all the players, but I know there was a big.
Ravens are my AFC team.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we like the Cowboys though.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Well, as you post,
I have to ask my husband.
As Senator Pettyjohn, as you posted on your personal Facebook page,
yes,
pitchers and catchers report.
Yes.
When? 2
5
weeks?
days, right?
5 days.
Yeah.
So Monday, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Yankees would be getting Garrett Cole back.
Ugh.
Their ace, the top pitcher in the AL.
Are we gonna have a good year? Jason's going to opening day this year.
I think the Orioles going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
They're going to be tough.
I've said it for a while. I mean, they've built a young team.
Yeah.
And, as long as they can get their stuff together, I've got a feeling the Orioles could do well this year.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso was a pretty big signing.
Was.
Yeah.
And last year, usually the Orioles have been good up until the All-Star break, and then they disappear.
Yeah.
They didn't really show up last year at
Yeah.
all. So I'm looking forward to see how they're starting off at the beginning of this season. Yeah, but I can't wait for baseball
Hope for
season.
a good year. Yep.
Summertime, outside,
I know.
grass.
I think we're all ready for
fireworks.
summertime right now.
It's summer today,
Sucks.
isn't it? 45 degrees outside.
I just
Actually felt warm when I went out.
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
All right. So we wrapping this up.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, JSC continuing throughout the rest of February. The legislature will reconvene the second week of March.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever that Tuesday is.
It'll be the 10th.
The 10th.
Yep.
And we will may have another episode of this in between now and then,
Yeah,
but
I think we
regardless.
should.
Yeah, if I can get the balance to the Green Energy Fund.
Oh, yeah,
we'll
we
have-
didn't talk about that, did we?
Well, yeah, because we don't really know all of the information yet. So
Yeah, so
Let-
once
let's
I have
The
get
that.
that
information that
information.
you've been asking about for about a week or two,
yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't gotten.
so we're looking to see what the balances are in the green energy
And
fund.
apparently
that
it's a
Denmark
very
collects.
confusing question.
Yeah. So we'll see what we can get. I was going to try to have the information by the time the podcast came, but there's still some uncertainty as to what these numbers are.
Yeah, how about
Yeah,
I'm
that?
sure
You're
there
not
is.
being
Ask
clear
me-
in the way you're asking.
Ask me how much money I have in my bank account right now.
Oh, you'll know that.
I can tell you to the T.
Yeah.
Okay.
No doubt.
I just want to make that point.
How about this? If you had to clear out the account, you had to write a check, what is that amount that you would write on the check?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's what we want to know.
well, right now I've asked the same question 3 different ways, so we'll see if I get an answer this
Well,
time.
that's the problem. You're asking it
all,
3 ways.
it's all my fault. I know.
It is.
It
Run it through
typically is.
ChatGPT. Use one of those AI data centers
Okay.
that
Yeah.
we're talking about and see what it spits out.
All right.
Kind of how to ask the question
Okay. More
correctly.
clearly.
Apparently,
Yeah.
yes. Clean this up.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
All right. That'll be my next.
Prompt.
That'll be my next step.
Uh-huh.
that's right. That's right. All right. Well, on that note, I guess we will see you on the next episode.
All right.
Yep. All right.
For the Record is recorded and produced by the Delaware State Senate Republican Caucus. You can find us with the DE Senate GOP handle on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Threads. Discover more about our caucus on our website, senategop.delaware.gov.